Hello, 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 beautiful people. How are you today? Today is another episode of Relaxed and Raunchy Relationship Podcast with me, Ingrid Galway. And I am accompanied by this beautiful guest of mine today, Liz Walton. She is a therapist who specializes in helping others in their fertility journey. Now, as a therapist, she unlocked the innate healing within her clients. Then, after 10 years of trying to conceive and spent 30,000 pounds of unsuccessful IVF, her emotions and marriage were in tatters. After healing herself, she became precariously pregnant with a baby unlikely to survive. Oh dear. This unborn child now demanded her complete and utter surrender to her life and death. Only when Liz accepted her terms did Willow, the name of the baby, stay to be born. Liz was 46. What a story already. So I would love to welcome you, Liz, into the room.
Thank you. You make it sound so dramatic there. Fabulous. Thank you so much. And thank you for interviewing me and letting me be on your podcast. It's been lovely meeting you. Thank you.
Yes. And would you like to introduce me to you?
Oh, yes, of course. Hold on. Sorry, I just suddenly... I'm so sorry. So I've got there in the end. So Ingrid Galway is the founder and relationship coach and chief relaxation officer of Kahyangan, pronounced Kahyangan, there you go, hopefully I got that right, which means heaven, which is lovely, isn't it? She's been a relationship coach for 12 years and a spa therapist for 22 years. She practices from Kahyangan in Sydney and from clients' homes and offices and also hotel rooms. Wow, that's amazing. She also does it online and from retreats at beautiful, beautiful locations. Her work was always focused on stress, relaxation and relationships, and always ready to look after loving and not so loving couples and broken, lonely-hearted singles. She does one-on-one coaching sessions, women's circles, group online couples massage lessons, and also retreats. So there you go. Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Liz. So let's get into it. What is your why? Why do you do what you do?
Why do I do what I do? I do what I do because I'm so passionate about health and healing. And it's also been a big journey of my own as well. And so I was somebody who was quite lost, as a younger 20s individual, and I think went off and turned on into all of the wrong directions. And so I needed to find some way of finding myself. So I got into therapies, into massage, and then I started realizing, oh, so we have the power to help heal ourselves, and that blew my mind. And so since then I've really been extremely thirsty about how we can support ourselves, and for me it was, how can I help me, because I know I was really lost. And so the person to who I was to the person to who I am now is very, very different. And the fact that then with that I could also focus that on my fertility as well, and help me to, I suppose, heal all that stuff from the past, become a really good person within myself, and know that I'm enough who I am. That was a huge, big journey. And so my passion then becomes, well, if I could do it, then I know you guys can do it. And so there's a passion to do it, which I know must be really similar to you. So tell me, why do you do what you do?
Yes. So I guess most therapists would experience rock bottom before, and the same with you. My story was, I came from Indonesia to Australia. I mean, therefore my business name Kahyangan, which came from ancient Javanese language, which means heaven, because I was born on the island of Java. And they have very, very different sort of like mindset. So I didn't feel home back home, if you know what I mean. And from a young age, I always said that I would like to marry a foreigner. Interestingly, so then I can move out. Not that I don't love my people. Don't get me wrong. Like I love my family.
But it's always interesting to travel, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But typically, you know, you are bound to stay with your parents, live with your parents until you get married.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah,
Wow.
or at the age of 21. I mean, I didn't have a very good relationship with my mom, so I wanted to escape my mom,
Yeah.
especially. So by the age of 21, I decided to get married to my first husband, and he's in Australia. So I was very, very willing to leave Indonesia to get married to my first husband. And 10 years married, unfortunately, you know, I had to leave after 3 attempts because it was an abusive relationship. So in my self-healing journey, then I saw a couple of therapists. I went to self-development seminars to change my paradigm, to change my mindset, to heal myself. And then I went back to college to study counseling and life coaching. And straight away, I knew that I would be a coach, not a counselor. And my niche would be in relationship, because
Love it.
I am passionate and compassionate to help others in similar sort of predicament, and also with you know, abuse and with divorce comes depression, anxiety, all that juicy stuff. And so if someone, potential client, have that sort of issues, then, you know, I'm here to experience it. You know, I'm willing to support you and encourage you in whatever ways I can. So that's my why.
I love it. Well done, you. And again, you know, walking our path becomes such a powerful thing, because it can help us then to know that, isn't it? And to support others. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. And so now we come to the very important part of the podcast, which is the 3 tips. I'm always curious about my podcast guests' expertise, because everyone comes from different background, different industries, different expertise. So for you, I would like to ask 3 tips on how to heal from the fertility roller coaster. And as I can only imagine that it would be very, very stressful.
Yes, it is very, very stressful, you know, and I think, look, so many things in life are stressful, and there will always be one catalyst for us. And, you know, for me, it was fertility, and a lot of people out there will understand, you know, fertility can be a massive catalyst to learn to do things differently. And I think one of the biggest things that I learned on my fertility journey was understanding about the feminine and the masculine.
Yeah.
So I had somebody ask me, so when do you create? Because I started working, and then I worked 6 days a week, as long as I could work. You know, you just, for me, I just sort of got into it. I loved the job I did. It was supporting others. And so, you know, it was just something I did. And then you get on a fertility journey, and then you just do more work, because you're always trying to, you know, pay for all the different, I suppose, everything that happens with fertility. And somebody asked me, when do you create? And I was a bit like, what do you mean? You know, what do you mean? When are you in your feminine? When do you create? Because, of course, your biggest thing you want to do is create a baby. I'm like, yeah. And she goes, so when do you create? So that kind of stopped me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just work. I just do. I don't necessarily be. And so what I've done a lot of work, and I still do work on the masculine and the feminine. And this isn't about male or female. Within us, we have the masculine energy and the female energy, okay? It's known as masculine and feminine. And as someone said, it could be apples and oranges. It's just a way of identifying 2 different energies. And we, as a lot of women, we can be busy in our masculine energy and be desperately doing and still trying to get pregnant, going, well, why isn't it working? And so for a lot of my clients, we've discussed this, and it's a whole new idea about stepping back into being the feminine, the goddess, the female, back into the creation part of us. Because we can be in suits, we can be working with men, we can be dealing with men, and it's all about spreadsheets and goals and getting things done. And look, I've put the baby in my future and it should be here. And as I was to learn, babies don't come that way. So it was a big thing to learn about who I was in the feminine and in the feminine energy, and getting back into creating and creation and being creative, and about finding that space for creation to happen, because I was so busy, doing and doing and doing. I don't think I realized that I needed to create the space to be, to create, and to start getting into what I loved as creation. And it's a big thing. So one of those definitely big tips is, where are you in your energy space? Are you in the masculine, the doing, always busy doing, telling everybody else what to do? When I say that, I don't mean that, we can always be, oh, we've got to do this, we've got to do that, always in the bits and pieces. Or are we in what feels right? Where are we creating? We're drawing, we're having music, we're doing things that make us feel right. The feminine is about feeling right. So yes, I do a lot of work with that, about the masculine and the feminine, and it's a big one to start realizing, awakening to, and also stepping into, because we need to have a wonderful balance of both.
Yes, balance is key, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we can get very stuck into the masculine, because there's so many things are blurred these days. We've got to work, and we've got to do, we've got to be, and it tends to be in a very male orientated society. So yes, double check, because it can be really enlivening to step back into who are you as the woman, the feminine, the goddess, the mother. The other one, which is what I touched upon earlier, was creating the space to create. We can be so busy, and we do live in such a manic society. We do, and it just seems to get busier and busier and busier, doesn't it? That there isn't space to create. I was talking to a friend of mine, it was a couple of years ago, and she was saying, oh, I just can't seem to get pregnant. And so we were discussing, well, when do you have space? And we looked at a piece of paper, and I said, okay, so this piece of paper is you and everything that you have on it, so where was work? So a whole half piece went, okay, so what about family? Oh, okay. What about fun? Oh, okay. So, and then I asked her, what were the other things? And she, and then there was, I think she does there was her church, and then everything she does, and then she has to go and do this and that. So I said, okay, so that's how much time we have for creating. And then it was just like, oh, wow. So we need to know, if we want to create, where is that space? And let's open up to it. Again, it's all about awareness. We can't change if there's no awareness. So it's just about awareness and finding that space. So again, where's the space to create? And so my last one is something I learned right at the very end. So as you said before, I was on a 10-year journey. I did 6 IVF, spent a rather ridiculous amount of money. And I knew I had to
do. Very expensive, isn't it?
It's ridiculously expensive. And you don't think, oh, I've got all this money, because I didn't have all this money, but you keep working to try and do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And when I had to give up at year 8, because my sister-in-law got pregnant first time IVF, and it brought up so many emotions in it. And I was there going, I don't want to feel these emotions because it hurts. So I knew life had shown me that I can't be a mother, and I have to heal from that. So then I spent ages learning to heal from that, be clear, to the point my language was, I'm really lucky I don't have to have kids. I am the kid. I can spend money on myself, and I can do what I want. And then, yes, after that, learning to reconnect with my husband and finding life and joy and, coming back to joy. And then when I did fall pregnant, well, I didn't know for 3 months. I was just feeling so sick. And I was a bit like, oh my goodness, this must be menopause. It's hit me already. I feel dreadful. And so I went to the doctor, and of course they giggled and said, you're not in menopause, you're pregnant. And so after I had Willow, which was when I was 46, I remember seeing the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so this made me think, wow, how true is that? Where they're going, but I'm doing everything all about time, and I've done it all, all the stuff that I was doing, I've done everything. And yet, when I learned to let go, when I learned to find happiness with who I was, reconnect, be here now, so to speak, I felt like my daughter was then going, okay, she gets it now. Okay. There's no stoppages now. I can come in. Yeah. So even though, we have our timing, baby's timing, I've realized, is quite different, So what if we just have some things that we need to learn to do, to understand, so that we can release the blockages and allow flow. Yeah. And when flow comes, what we really want can come in. So that was a massive, massive learning to look back and go, oh my goodness, that saying is so true. So even though when we think it's all lost, it isn't necessarily always the truth. Yeah. So that stopping and that finding peace, even when we think it means letting go, can actually be the one thing that just allows what we want, instead of grabbing for it, to come to us. So those were 3 big things that I learned. There's a lot more, but I bring those all to my clients as well. These are all the different things that we learn and step into, and they can be huge things.
Amazing. Because babies, they're not just like me and, hey, you come here, I want you in my life now.
Yeah, and for having, this is just for me, I always say that it's a gift. I became a better human being, person, and I would say a much better parent and mother, because I had to learn all that stuff. Even though I thought I was ready here, I had to learn all that stuff so that my baby could come here.
Yes, and you didn't get all that training in high school, did you?
No, we don't, do we? No, it takes us to become adults, or a catalyst to happen for us to go, okay, I need to do life differently. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's very wise. I love every step. Yes.
Oh, very kind. Thank you. So that tells, what are your 3 tips, my lovely?
Yeah. So today, actually talking about creation, I would like to give 3 tips on how to balance your sacral chakra. Now, for some of you that may not know about sacral chakra, so chakra is like the source of energy within our body. There are 7 of them. If we see on our spine, different colors. And I tend to focus on the second chakra, the sacral chakra, because as a relationship coach, typically I deal with the sexuality, creation, romance, artistic expression. So this chakra influences your creativity, gut instinct, and confidence in artistic expression. It influences how inspired you feel, general joy, I mean, you mentioned about joy before, and pleasure in life, satisfaction in romantic relationship, and your ability to express your emotions. When it is not in balance, we did mention something about balance, how important it is in our life. Especially with the energy you mentioned, between the masculine and the feminine, it affects our day-to-day life in many ways. Now, some of the underactive symptoms of unbalanced sacral chakra can be feeling lack of desire or lack of passion, and feeling out of touch with creativity. Now, the other flip side of it, some of the overactive symptoms of unbalanced sacral chakra, you can feel experiencing compulsive behaviors like sexual addiction and overindulging, like you can't stop eating, something like that. Now, 3 tips on how to balance it is number 1, reconnect with sacral chakra's element, which is water.
How is it? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you can take a bath, go swimming, or if you don't have a bathtub, you can dangle your feet in the body of water. So connect with water. Number 2, be creative. We've been mentioning about creativity and, creating babies. Be creative. Let your energy flow by exploring new or old hobbies like dancing, writing, drawing, participating in other playful activities. Because when we are so busy, doing, we forgot about this, fun stuff.
Absolutely.
Let's go back to those sort of stuff. Let's be creative and have fun. And number 3, spa treatments like massage and facial. I mean, you do massage, I do massage. One of my favorite methods of rebalancing myself is to receive energy from other therapists. For my clients, I like to place like a heavy basalt hot stone in the below the belly button and on the area. So that's the area of the sacral chakra. And you can accompany it by crystal if you like, such as carnelian. Where is my carnelian? Oh, okay, this is carnelian, or you can use citrine as well. This is my citrine. The act of receiving love without guilt is encouraged. Now, as a mother, as a parent, talking about guilt, we are very familiar with the feeling of guilt. So I encourage everyone to receive love without the feeling of guilt and to simply just say to the universe, even without words, you are grateful to accept pleasure, abundance, and you deserve to enjoy life. Now, when you have manifested a balanced sacral chakra, you will be able to experience life to its fullest, to truly create. Yeah, so this will be good for your clients to truly create and enjoy the intimate relationship and have stimulated imagination and creativity. So those are my 3 tips.
I like it. I've written those down. I like that.
Yeah.
Water, hobbies, spa treatments, all things I love.
I know, we love everything. Now, people, we come to the fun part of the podcast, which is the true and false statement. Now, Liz said, the fertility journey, an opportunity to do life differently. Number 2 is all my fault, I'm not pregnant. I like the sound of it's all my fault, I'm not pregnant. So I'm going to guess that number 1 is correct.
Indeed.
Right?
Indeed. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So what's the funny story behind that?
I think it's so many stories, but really, I think a lot of it is the words we say to ourselves. We can go on a journey and just be going, oh my God, I'm rubbish. Oh, I'm useless. Oh, it's all my fault. And what's wrong with me? And I think the whole realization when someone, we go on, I had someone talk to me about how, if we start to change our language, which again was another thing why I ended up doing what I'm doing and training in NLP, is just realizing how powerful language is. Not just what we say to other people, but the language with ourselves.
Yes.
is huge. And just learning to change my language that's in my head that nobody hears but me can actually change so much. And to me, I thought that was just mind-blowing. The fact that, actually I'm doing the best I can. Liz, you're okay. You can do this. And I just thought that was brilliant. And it seems so ridiculously silly and maybe sort of stupid and funny, but it is really great. I mean, it's so funny that, just by saying, hey Liz, inside her head, you're doing okay. Hey Liz, this is nothing, this is not your fault, it's all right. And hey, I love you, you're doing great. So I love that. I thought that just realizing we can do life differently, and one of them is talking to ourselves nicer. It's
So
great.
people, be your own best friend.
Yeah, and I just saw one recently with Mel Robbins. You know, you could give yourself a high five in the mirror every morning, and I'm like, oh, I love that. Great high five. Great high five. So, okay, hold on. Let me quickly find yours because I've got these all here on my phone. Excuse me, everybody. Right. So, your true and false statements.
Yep.
Right. So, number one was Ingrid's husband is very flexible. Number two is Ingrid's kids are very flexible. So I would say, true or false? I would say Ingrid's husband is very flexible.
Ooh, you are incorrect. He is as stiff as a board.
Oh dear.
Yeah. My kids, oh my God, they're very flexible. Mind you, I am also flexible, but they are just amazing. Like both of them, I have two daughters. Both of them, when they're little, mind you, one is still like this when they sleep. You know, like Muslim people, when they do a prayer, they would sleep like that.
Right, like in baby pose, sort of.
Yeah, like, wow, like how can you sleep like
Is
that?
it baby pose? That might be the wrong one, but yes, like with their legs underneath them. Yeah,
it's just like that for hours in the night, and then they change position. And the last one was it was so funny. Like my little one, at the moment she's 6, during eating porridge, she would fold her leg up to like that, and the porridge is here, and she would just eat with her legs like that.
Yeah, no, funny. Bless her.
And I post on Facebook, well, this is how you're supposed to eat porridge, the porridge pose. So it's a new yoga pose. It's called the porridge pose.
Yeah,
And
I like it.
when she fall asleep in the car, she likes sleeping in the car when we're traveling to, to somewhere. And she would eat, she would sleep like that with her legs like that as well.
Oh, wow. Bless her. How lovely. That is very flexible. Well done.
Very flexible. Yeah. So I wish that I can be that flexible throughout, but getting older now, I am no longer that flexible.
Yes, it does change.
Yes. So last question, Liz, before we finish this, what do you do to either relax or add raunchiness into your relationship?
So for me, being a massage therapist, I love to have a massage or have a spa treatment or go to spas. I've worked very luckily in different spas all over the world when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I do love a really good spa, hot to cold, and then a scrub and then a massage. I'm literally in heaven. That's just the best.
I love fishy shower. I reckon that's like, indulgent. Do you like fishy shower treatment?
Yes, it's also, I like most treatments, to be fair. I don't think there's one I would dislike, but they're all good. But I prefer like the hot and cold plunge pools and then the swimming.
Yeah.
So good.
Heaven.
It is.
All right, beautiful people, we come to the end of the podcast. So thank you so much for listening and watching us, collaborating together. Now, Liz, if people would like to ask more questions about fertility and how to heal themselves, how can they contact you?
Okay, so there's a couple of things. One, please do find I have a Facebook business page and it's called Liz Walton. I've got Creation Coach. So, but even if you put Liz Walton Fertility Coach, I'm sure it would come up. So do find me because I do lives and all sorts of posts. And then apart from that, there's my email and also do call me. So my website is my name, lizwalton.org. And it's got, a contact details there. So, and my email is liz at, again, my name, lizwalton.org. And then you can have my number. Do I say my number? Should I say my number or do we put it underneath?
We will put it in the caption.
I'll
Yes.
put it in the caption. So, but it's on my website and everything. So if anyone's wondering, you know, what does a fertility coach do? What does it help? I support you emotionally on your journey, and I work with whatever course, IVF, whatever thing you're going through, and have a chat, because you never know how I might be able to help you. And if I can't, I will refer. So I love to be able to support you, even if it's not me. So
Yes.
yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. And people, if you like this video, then please go to my YouTube and like and subscribe to my channel, Ingrid Galway. And if you have more questions about relationship, please go to my website, www.kahyangan.com.au. Well, to get the pronunciation right, well, it's just over here on my virtual screen. So that's very easy. You can check the website out and request a half an hour free chat with me. So we can have a chat, and then we'll see whether we're compatible to work together as a coach and client. So there you go, beautiful people. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you, Liz, for coming to my podcast.
Thank you too. Lovely.
Fun, and thank you for sharing your wisdom.
Thank you. Bye.